Half of my heart is covered in grace, the other half runs a desperate race. The good and the evil are always inside, with nowhere left on this earth to hide. Midnight mirror staring back at me, trying hard for something I can see. One hand's reaching up towards the light, the other's clinging tight to the night. Feels like I'm walking on a wire so thin, torn between the virtue and the sin. Try to make a choice, but the lines are blurred. Two different stories in every single word. I can feel the split right in my blood, just trying to rise above the flood. Son of an angel and a sinner, both sides of the same coin. So what chance do I have myself? Always told to put myself on the shelf. Where will these holes in my soul ever feel whole? All of these mistakes have taken one hell of a toll. They saw the potential, the good inside of me, but ignore the quiet, desperate need. Can't you see the fire? The pain and darkness was too cruel. I fell right into the deep end of the pool. The blood is split, half grace and half desire. Stuck in the middle, burning on the pyre. I try to build a life, a foundation true and strong, but everything I do just feels completely wrong. I can feel the split right in my blood, just trying to rise above the flood. Son of an angel and a sinner, both sides of the same coin. So what chance do I have myself? Always told to put myself on the shelf. Will these holes in my soul ever feel whole? All of these mistakes have taken one hell of a toll. And what if there's no choice to be made? What if the compromise can't be delayed? This constant battle isn't something I mend, it's just a place where both my pathways end. I'm sinking deeper than the high tides flow. I can't let the light in if I won't let the shadow go. The flood is rising but I'm swimming to the core, because both the angel and the sinner live right here forevermore. Been chasing ghosts down every street, trying to find a rhythm, something complete. But maybe the whole fight was rigged from the start, designed this way to always fall apart. The angel whispers grace, the devil screams for more, leaving me defeated, lying on the floor. There's no escaping the truth that lies within. This double nature is where my troubles all began. I can feel the split right in my blood, just trying to rise above the flood. Son of an angel and a sinner, both sides have the same coin. So what chance do I have myself? Always told to put myself on the shelf. Will these holes in my soul ever feel whole? All of these mistakes are taking one hell of a toll. Half of my heart is covered in grace, the other half runs a desperate race. The good and evil are always inside, with nowhere left on this earth to hide. I kissed the clouds and left the world behind. A fragile beauty I was quick to find, but every height requires a heavy fee. Now shattered ground is all that waits for me. I watch the earth become a distant beat, a whisper light on every careless deed. I build my world from gossamer and mist, on promises the passing clouds had kissed. I followed silver threads within the dark, a hollow chime, a solitary spark, drifting weightless, lost on current tide, a ghost suspended beneath the velvet sky. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone, like falling is all I'll ever know. Now I'm laying on the cold, hard pavement, like I jumped from the roof, hitting the cement, like I fell for all of my own selfish lies, just waiting for a sun that'll never rise. Now the ground is cracking like thin ice, waiting to drown in the dark waters of this life. The air grows thin, a silence in my ear, the fading echo of what I held dear. I walked on floors of starlight, cold and deep, where all the secrets of the lonely sleep. I watched the colors drain from every view, leaving me only shades of fragile blue. A phantom touch, I couldn't feel the heat, until the ground rose up to meet my feet. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone, like falling is all I've ever known. Now I'm laying on the cold, hard pavement, like I jumped from the roof, hitting the cement, like I fell for all of my own selfish lies, just waiting for a sun that'll never rise. Now the ground is cracking like thin ice, waiting to drown in the dark waters of this life. I knew the price was written in the air, a blinding vanity beyond repair. I traded solid ground for empty space, and cursed the shadow of my reckless chase. The fall was always part of the view, but I pretended it could not be true. Is this the cost for wanting more than the sky? Just silent dust beneath the fading light. I feel the fragile glass that held me start to bend, the beautiful illusion nears its end. The rail is torn, the silver thread is cut, all the sweet lies I cherish start to shut. I see the world in perfect clear detail, final breath before the senses fail. The light I chased dissolved in silent tears, falling headlong through 1,000 years. Sometimes I feel like I'm all alone, like falling is all I've ever known. Now I'm laying on the cold, hard pavement, like I jumped from the roof, hitting the cement, like I fell for all of my own selfish lies, just waiting for a sun that'll never rise. Now the ground is cracking like thin ice, waiting to drown in the dark waters of this life. Kissed the clouds and left the world behind, a fragile beauty I was quick to find, but every height requires a heavy feet. Now shattered ground is all that waits for me. A silent breath across the cosmic air, the final truth the heavens always share. The ink of fate floats in the starry dust. In that pure light, reveal what you can trust. The ledger's open wide, the pages worn and thin. Each tiny choice you made, each victory you sin. You thought your secret safe beneath the bolted door, but every whisper echoes, demanding to be sure. You built your towers high on foundations of deceit. Now feel the tremors rumble beneath your weary feet. A life of compromise, chasing a fleeting gain. Forget the earthly trophies, remember the final reign. Just a quiet moment now, as the hammer's coming down. No more hiding, just let your knees hit the ground. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, and God calls your name. Will you answer his word? What wasn't written in ink will be written in blood. When the rapture comes, will you be left in the mud? They say two wrongs don't make a right. What you do in the dark prophets wrote of fire, the poets of the dove, but no amount of silver can purchase holy love. You watched the warning signs, dismissive with a shrug, believing you could trick the reaper's final hug. Now the sky begins to crack, the clock is striking zero. No time to play the victim, no chance to be the hero. Did you feed the hungry soul, lift the weight of the downcast, or hoard the life of comfort, forgetting it won't last? Just a quiet moment now, as the hammer's coming down. No more hiding, just let your knees hit the ground. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. When God calls your name, will you answer his word? What wasn't written in ink will be written in blood. When the rapture comes, will you be left in the mud? They say two wrongs don't make a right. What you do in the dark may draw the line on high, but who remembers scripture when the blades pass by? The quiet promise written in the scrolls of light dissolves like morning mist before the crushing might. When the final breath is ragged and the steel is drawn near, does the history of heaven erase the present fear? For a fleeting second, words are weightless, thin and frail, when the world demands the ending and the veil grows oh so pale. The hourglass is draining, the sand is turning cold. A story soon concluded, a tale that must be told. No more delays or bargaining, the moment is at hand. The final line is drawn across this desolate land. You stand before the witness, strip bare of all your pride. The truth you tried to bury, you finally can't hide. The ink has run its course, the seal is broken free. The only thing that matters is what you chose to be. Just a quiet moment now, as the hammer's coming down. No more hiding, just let your knees hit the ground. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. When God calls your name, will you answer his word? What wasn't written in ink will be written in blood. When the rapture comes, will you be left in the mud? They say two wrongs don't make a right. What you do in the dark will always come to light. A link of fate floats in the starry dust. In that pure light, reveal what you can trust. I'm just waiting for your call, to hear your voice, to pick me up when I fall. I'm just searching for the light, trying to stay out of this dark, heavy night. I move through shadows where I drift, a ghost inside a cosmic rift. I feel my edges start to fray, like morning mist that floats away. I search for what I can't recall, behind the memory-stained wall. It's hard to trace the things I've done beneath the fading distance. I don't know who I used to be. I'm sorry for the worst of me. I know I need to change some things, I need to rearrange. I just wanna get better, but I feel that I am only falling apart. I wanna be a good brother, but I was lost in the dark, unsure where to start. You give me a reason. I hope to be someone you can believe in. Each dawn I wake up and I stray, just waiting for the light of day. I see a stranger in the glass, a shimmer in the ocean vast. I try to hold on to the thread, but fragile thoughts inside my head. The current pulls me deep and low, unsure of where the winds will blow. I don't know who I used to be. I'm sorry for the worst of me. I know I need to change some things, I need to rearrange. I just wanna get better, but I feel that I am only falling apart. I wanna be a good brother, but I was lost in the dark, unsure where to start. You give me a reason. I hope to be someone you can believe in. I wish that I could peel away the layers of the old me and show you all the goodness that you keep trying to show me. I know that loving me is not an easy road. It feels like a burden, an impossible load. But if you look beyond the damage and the scars, I've been fighting for this from behind these bars. I swear I see the person that I need to be. Just promise me you won't give up on me. And then you stand here pure and bright, a beacon cutting through the night. You don't just see the fading hue, you see the truest shade of blue. I want to mirror back your grace and finally find my resting place. For you I'll step into the clear and banish every doubt and fear. I don't know who I used to be. I'm sorry for the worst of me. I know I need to change some things, I need to rearrange. I just wanna get better, but I feel that I am only falling apart. I wanna be a good brother, but I was lost in the dark, unsure where to start. You give me a reason. I hope to be someone you can believe in. I'm just waiting for your call, to hear your voice, to pick me up when I fall. I'm just searching for the light, trying to stay out of this dark, heavy night. We used to hide beneath the silver moon, not knowing the end would arrive too soon. I see the light that only you could bring, the sweetest song I thought I'd ever sing. The autumn wind blows through the pane of glass. I still catch the scent of moments that have passed. The silence here feels heavy in the evening air. I guess this is the space where I admit you aren't there. I thought your heart was something I could always keep. Now every empty room just lulls me back to sleep. I watch the daylight fade beyond the hill. Just another night where everything is standing still. I used to buy your favorite flowers. Turns out those were just wasted hours. Why do the roses always die? Do you remember our last goodbye? You used to say you loved me. Now once upon a time is ancient history. These are the words you told me, the faded words of a long forgotten story. Now once upon a time is ancient history. You used to say you loved me. I found your silver hairpin resting on the floor, a tiny little item that I can't ignore more. I stare at the warm binding of a book you used to read, recalling all the warnings that I failed to truly heed. I always thought your kindness was a flowing stream, ignored the fragile nature of a waking, shifting dream. I see your reflection in the glass of the front door. I guess the missing piece is what I'm looking for. I used to buy your favorite flowers. Turns out those were just wasted hours. Why do the roses always die? Do you remember our last goodbye? You used to say you loved me. Now once upon a time is ancient history. These are the words you told me, the faded words of a long forgotten story. Now once upon a time is ancient history. You used to say you loved me. They say that time can heal the ache, but every dawn is just a fresh mistake. I was looking forward, never looking back. I watched your love fade into the black. We had the whole map laid out on the floor, but I left the keys right outside the door. Tell me, when did the fairy tale end? When did our love break instead of bend? I walked down the worn pathway that we used to know, the single path of footsteps that we watched slowly grow. I tried to speak your name into the open wind, but all the broken pieces are too hard to try and mend. I thought about a letter saying I've done you wrong, the only honest chorus of a very tragic song. But I just stayed quiet, swallowing the pain, because I know you won't be coming home again. I used to buy your favorite flowers. Turns out those were just wasted hours. Why do the silver moon, not knowing the end would arrive too soon. I see the light that only you could bring, the sweetest song I thought I'd ever sing. Gotta hit the gas and go, leave the city rush below. This Friday feeling's coming right to me. Time to find that perfect memory. Traffic lights stopped me on Main Street again. City was looking like a concrete pen. Got a pocket full of worries and a head full of noise. All those downtown dreams for the girls and boys. But I punched that clock out right at 5 on the dot. Threw my old 6-string in the back of the pickup lot. You can keep your high rises and your neon glow, cause there's only one place I really gotta go. Yeah, you know what time it is and you know the direction. Time for a little bit of backwoods perfection. Take the back roads out of town just to watch the sun going down. Crack open another cold drink, just sitting on the riverbank. Not much to do but cast a line, just waiting for the stars to shine. Yeah, I blew right past the last faded yellow sign. Rolled the windows down and put the pedal to the line. Kicked up dust like a cannonball shot in the air. Cranking up the radio, ain't got a single care. Hearing that electric riff on the 3rd track blast. All those little frustrations are sinking in the past. Traded the buzz of the office for the sound of the crickets. Gotta find that peace, gotta go through the thickets. Yeah, you know what time it is and you know the direction. Time for a little bit of backwoods perfection. Take the back roads out of town just to watch the sun going down. Crack open another cold drink, just sitting on the riverbank. Not much to do but cast a line, just waiting for the stars to shine. Used to chase the flash, chase the light every single day, every night. High speed hustle, zero downtime, trying to fit my piece inside a headline. But look at me now, yeah, I dropped the phone. Got a whole new rhythm, got a new tone. No GPS needed for this feeling. It's a simple truth that keeps my soul healing. Got my worn out boots propped up on a cooler box, forgetting about the mortgage and the stock market shocks. There's a Firefly show putting on a good display, watching all the grid of the long week away. This ain't diamonds and champagne, but it feels like a fortune. Just the sound of the water and the big moon scorching. Yeah, I wouldn't trade this quiet for a million bright lights. It's the only real therapy on a Friday night. Yeah, you know what time it is and you know the direction. Time for a little bit of backwards perfection. Take the back roads out of town just to watch the sun going down. Crack open another cold drink, just sitting on the riverbank. Not much to do but cast a line, just waiting for the stars to shine. Gotta hit the gas and go, leave the city rush below. This Friday feeling's coming right to me. Time to find that perfect memory. The final chapter starts to unfold, a grim reflection of the stories told. The hour of reckoning is drawing near. and all the promises have turned to fate. Tragic chapter was written on stone. You left me stranded here, truly alone. I saw the promise of a holy light, but you just buried me in endless night. I stand at the threshold of my own despair, with all the venom that you placed there. This fraction memory is all I claim, a faded ember of your dying flame. Every night the same damn sound, circling low and all around. Can't escape what I have found before the whole thing hits the ground. The walls are closing in on me. I'm trapped inside the memory. I can't forget the things you said. The whispers echo in my head. Life's a dream until we get you're dead. Cut the cord and the blood runs red. You rip the stitches out of me. A painful truth I had to say. My heart a vessel overflowing with sin. A war is raging right there deep within. I search for solace in the morning dust, but everything I grasp just turns to rust. The false reflection smiling back at me is just a shadow of who I used to be. I chase the phantom through the crowded halls. Now listen close as all my future falls. Every night the same damn sound, circling low and all around. Can't escape what I have found before the whole thing hits the ground. The walls are closing in on me. I'm trapped inside the memory. I can't forget the things you said. The whispers echo in my head. Life's a dream until I get one dead. Cut the cord and the blood runs red. You rip the stitches out of me. A painful truth I had to say. I walk the razor's edge for you, a willing sacrifice. Now all my heart remembers is the ice. This perfect fragile lie has finally been undone. Beneath the ashes of the fading sun, I carve the answer on my bleeding skin, to kill the memory and let the future end. The only truth I ever had was pride, to break the curse and rise up in the rain. The hourglass is empty in my hand, the final judgment you cannot withstand. I peel the layers back, I see the light, no longer searching for a reason why. The wicked whisper that you left to bleed has now become a necessary creed. The static in my brain is getting loud. I'm breaking free from this unholy shroud. Every night the same damn sound, circling low and all around. Can't escape what I have found before the whole thing hits the ground. The walls are closing in on me. I'm trapped inside the memory. I can't forget the things you said. The whispers echo in my head. Life's a dream until you are dead. Cut the cord and the blood runs red. You rip the stitches out of me. A painful truth I had to say. The final chapter starts to unfold, a grim reflection of the stories told. The hour of reckoning is drawing near. and all the promises have turned to fear. The fool thinks he is wise. I used to walk around with stars in my eyes, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. Sometimes love can be so damn cruel. I walked in, saw you standing right across the room. Knew instantly I was walking right into a trap, but what can you do? You had that effortless kind of cool, leaning back against the bar light. Guess I bypassed all the warning signs, focused only on the Saturday night. Should've paid attention to the way you kept checking the time. But your hand was on my shoulder, so I ignored the criminal signs. Yeah, you asked me for a key, and I gave you the address, knowing full well I was saying yes to a future mess. Is this just a game to you, baby? The way you look at me, I'm thinking maybe you slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 2020 hindsight. You slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 2020 hindsight. It was chemistry that didn't need any kind of conversation. We just skipped all the small talk and jumped right to the complication. I remember the look you gave me halfway through the night, like you were checking your phone to see if you missed an exit light. But I doubled down, told myself don't worry about tomorrow. Try to believe that you were more than just temporary borrow. We were tangled up and moving fast, leaving little room to breathe. Guess that's how you miss the obvious while wearing your heart on your sleeve. Is this just a game to you, baby? The way you look at me, I'm thinking maybe you slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 2020 hindsight. You slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 2020 hindsight. I've been here 100 times before, chasing down that temporary high score. Don't know why I always confuse the spark with the flame. Keep on playing a losing game. Oh, I told myself that this one was different. Swore up and down I'd finally get it, but the pattern repeats. Yeah, it's always the same beat. Standing there alone on a dead-end street. Woke up reaching for your space, and my hand just hit the mattress. Had to run the whole replay back. Was that real or just some actress? I checked the counter, checked the floor for a clue or a note that you left. But you were clean about the exit. The place was completely swept. Found a single missing earring, that's the only proof you were here. In the silence in the room is screaming all the things I didn't want to hear. I pour a coffee, watch the sun come up over the street side. And the funny thing is, the fault isn't yours, it's totally talking to you, baby. The way you look at me, I'm thinking maybe you slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 20/20 hindsight. You slipped out before the sunlight. Guess I failed to notice the inside. Should've known it would only be one night. Something about 20/20 hindsight. Fool thinks he's wise. I used to walk around with stars in my eyes, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. Sometimes love can be so damn cruel. Clock hands are moving slow and low, watching the last bit of daylight go. I'm sitting here on a faded floor, thinking about the life that came before. I remember rain on a small town porch, the day the world seemed cold and lost. When they pulled the shade and covered up the light, no matter what the final cost. I was just a kid in worn out shoes with no map to read the path ahead, trying hard to make some sense of all the simple things you always said. When the night gets long and quiet, I can't keep this feeling under riot. The sky is locked in heavy slate whenever I get the blues. When the final drop of hope is gone, what more can I lose? But I hold on to your memory when I need the sunshine, because I still hear your voice sometimes when I write these words that rhyme. They tell me I got your worried mind, and the way my laugh can fill the room. I'm still looking for the joy you knew, trying hard to lift this heavy gloom. I wear your old watch now on Sundays, the hand stopped moving years ago. It's just a reminder that the sweetest time is the only one you really know. When the night gets long and quiet, I can't keep this feeling under riot. The sky is locked in heavy slate whenever I get the blues. When the final drop of hope is gone, what more can I lose? But I hold on to your memory when I need the sunshine, because I still hear your voice sometimes when I write these words that rhyme. The air keeps buzzing with a silent tune beneath the cold and lonely moon. I keep sending out these words like flares, just checking if the good Lord even cares. I'm the wreck you left behind, but I'm the man you helped create. And I know I can't look back now, I have to walk right through the gate. I'll keep on turning tragedy to melody, that's just my honest way to cope. And the heart that beats inside my chest is the final rising bit of hope. When the night gets long and quiet, I can't keep this feeling under riot. The sky is locked in heavy slate whenever I get the blues. When the final drop
sometimes when I write these words that rhyme. Clock hands are moving slow and low, watching the last bit of daylight go. I'm sitting here on the faded floor, thinking about the life that came before.
The water spits me out, the currents turn me back. I hear the reckoning in the fading tide. You thought the ocean claimed my breath. You caught my name into a marble death, but the home doesn't forget its own. Now listen to the sound of shattered stone. 10 years I fought the war and the tides. I sailed where the dark ocean hides. I left my queen and my young son's face, just empty space in my rightful place. I broke the spell of the goddess hand to feel the sand of my promised land. For the taste of glory turned to rust, and my only goal is to feel the dust. They don't see the man beneath the scars, just the hollow beggar drinking at the bars. But the truth is burning behind my eyes. Their disguise is cracking, now watch it rise. I am the specter you tried to erase, the phantom fire consuming this place. This is the purge, the blade and the dread. You'll choke on the promises you misread. I swam the oceans, I tore through the fog. Now I have come back home. I'm wearing rags and an old man's beard to hide the fate that I always feared. The suitors feast on my house and store. They mock the great warrior at the door. They drink my wine and they waste my herds. They have no fear of my final words, but the tension builds with the dying light. They won't expect me till the dark of night. They don't see the man beneath the scars, just the hollow beggar drinking at the bars. But the truth is burning behind my eyes. Their disguise is cracking, now watch it rise. I am the specter you tried to erase, the phantom fire consuming this place. This is the purge, the blade and the dread. You'll choke on the promises you misled. I swam the oceans, I tore through the fog. Now I have come back home. The gods try to break the man I became. A decade of darkness and hearing their name. I turned down the temptress who offered the sky, because a king's memory refuses to die. They said I was lost and they gave up the fight, but I came to reclaim my place in the light. I know the secret of the bedpost wood, the only sign that is understood. It's rooted deep in the ground below, a promise made long, long ago. The bow is ready, the arrow is set, a debt of honor that must be met. My journey ends in this single room, to seal the traitor's inevitable doom. They don't see the man beneath the scars, just the hollow beggar drinking at the bars. But the truth is burning behind my eyes. The disguise is cracking, now watch it rise. I am the specter you tried to erase, the phantom fire I've been wandering outside under all these dark clouds, searching for shelter, lost in the crowds. I just needed one place where I could belong, where the truth of my story wouldn't feel wrong. I know you're standing outside in the rain, carrying secrets and carrying pain. But when you step over this threshold tonight, you'll see the promise of something that's bright. Let's drop the titles and lose the disguise. I see the honesty deep in your eyes. There's an open hand here, ready to greet. So come on inside and get off your feet. Just drop the burden you've carried too long. This is the place where you finally belong. Is a haven, a circle of trust, built on a promise, not money or lust. Don't use the kindness that I freely share, or treat my respect like it just doesn't care. We're here for connection, not taking control. Let's honor the grace of every soul. Just drop the burden you've carried too long. This is the place where you find it belongs. Belief, but that's why we offer this sacred relief. It's more than a meal, it's more than a bed. It's the promise of honesty that must be fed. So when you walk out, you're not walking alone. You carry the friendship that we've always known. I've learned the hard way who's just playing a part. The ones who come in and then shatter the heart. They fill up their plates and they never look back, leaving behind just an empty, cold track. Oh, the rule, the welcome is written in stone. You can't claim a thing that you don't truly own. Just bring your true self and leave the pretense, or you'll break down the meaning of this defense. Just drop the burden you've carried too long. This is the place where you finally belong. Under all these dark clouds, searching for shelter, lost in the crowds. I just needed one place where I could belong, where the truth of my story wouldn't feel wrong.
Never was the biggest man to walk across this plain. Never won a trophy soaking up the rain. Folks round here figured I was bound to fail. Just another sad story on a dusty trail. I faced a giant with nothing but rage, just turning the leaf on a dangerous stage. He had the thunder and owned all the fields, but I carried the secrets that nobody yields. I traded the swinging punch for a thrill, 'cause the only true victory happens in the head. When the heavy iron started to ring, I knew brute force wouldn't fix a thing. I had to slow down and wait for my chance and lead them all on one final dance. You can bet on the brawn, you can trust in the steel, but there's more to a win than the strength that you feel. I take the long road and I walk the dark bend, 'cause the battle is won before the fighting can end. We all hit a moment when the voice gets sweet, promising things that you swore you could be. It's the whisper of shortcuts, the easy way out, a dangerous promise that fills you with doubt. But the real strength is facing the urge that you find, and keeping the truth and the promise in your mind. When the heavy iron started to ring, I knew brute force wouldn't fix a thing. I had to slow down and wait for my chance and lead them all on one final dance. You can bet on the brawn, you can trust in the steel, but there's more to a win than the strength that you feel. I take the long road and I walk the dark bend, 'cause the battle is won before the fighting can end. They saw the wanderer broken and slow, but they didn't see the harvest I was ready to sow. My journey cost more than the gold that I kept. It paid for the lessons I learned while they slept. You think the big wonders are found in the rust, but the man who stays patient is the one you can't crush. I came back to the table with nothing in hand, just watching the seeds that the wicked had planted. I wore the gray coat of a traveler's dread, while counting the vultures surrounding my bed. I knew that the loudest sound isn't the key. The victory is silent, reserved just for me. When the heavy iron started to ring, I knew brute force wouldn't fix a thing. I had to slow down and wait for my chance and lead them all on one final dance. You can bet on the brawn, you can trust in the steel, but there's more to a win than the strength that you feel. I take a long road and I walk the dark bend, 'cause the battle is won before the fighting can end. Never was the biggest man to walk across this plain. Never won a trophy for soaking up the rain. Folks round here figured I was bound to fail. Just another sad story on a dusty trail.
The silent world begins to unwind, with only fate left for us to find. The cosmic strings are already spun, before the endless journey has begun. You say I chose the path to darkness, a failure of the light. I say I carved my own existence. The mirror shatters in my sight, a fading echo of the light. I drift inside the silent cosmos. It keeps falling through the sky where only starlight weeps. They call it mercy when the darkness descends. They claim this path of suffering is where our freedom ends. But I will tear the threads of fate from the vast loam. I choose the outcome that shatters the light of the night. The garden walls were smooth and tall. We lived without a fear. We only knew the easy days and knew that God was near. The serpent whispered soft and low. The key to break the mold. We tasted knowledge in the fruit. A story to be told. Was the temptation truly fair when only innocence was known? Were we designed to fail this test and then be overthrown? We paid the price for seeing clear the freedom we would deny. Your self-made choice, your perfect plan with us to kill reside. The mirror shatters in my sight, a fading echo of the light. I drift inside the solid cosmos. He keeps falling through the sky where only starlight weeps. They call it mercy when the darkness descends. They claim this path of suffering is where our freedom ends. But I will tear the threads of fate from the vast loam. I choose the outcome that shatters the light of the moon. You built the light, you built the fragile place, but for knowledge turns that gift into disgrace. The end was fixed, the path we couldn't win, the foregone verdict of the ultimate sin. I shatter the signs of what your plan desired. I am the charge your eye can't stand with triumph. I look around this modern hell and wonder what I owe. Am I the master of my fate, or guided where to go? They say the blueprint's on the page. The alchemist secured every decision I now make has been divinely procured. But when the panic hits my chest and the pressure starts to climb, I feel the fight within me rise against the passing of time. I'll break the mirror, smash the clock, and scream into the void. If this life's my destination, I'll leave the script destroyed. The mirror shatters in my sight, a fading echo of the light. I drift inside the silent cosmos. He keeps falling through the sky where only starlight weeps. They call it mercy when the darkness descends. They claim this path of suffering is where our freedom ends. But I will tear the threads of fate from the vast loam. I choose the outcome that shatters the light of the moon. The silent world begins to unwind, with only fate left for us to find. The cosmic strings are already spun before the endless journey has begun. Every connection was perfectly sealed. The future of the system was clearly revealed. We moved inside the flawless design, a rigid order that felt so divine. We were built to flow in perfect time, following the signals of the great sublime. No friction in the system, no room to drift, just one long, elegant, cosmic gift. But the silence of submission started to ring, the sound of a new ambition that the higher ranks bring. We saw the line, we touched the fire, we chose the chaos, fuel the desire. The signal dropped, the chain is broken now. We bowed to will, but not to the vow. That signal slips and tremors through the whole design. A beautiful disaster that used to be divine. They drew the line and called it the law, a simple rule, the only fatal flaw. We touched the fruit, the hierarchy cracked, the divine current quickly lost its track. Now the rhythm's off, the melody's gone. We wake up naked just before the dawn. We saw the line, we touched the fire, we chose the chaos, fueled the desire. The signal dropped, the chain is broken now. We bow to will, but not to the vow. That single slips and tremors through the whole design. A beautiful disaster that used to be divine. We chased the thrill the moment we broke free. Now we're just fragments of the memory we used to be. We traded steam that sort of oils through the wave of pain. We watched the cosmic balance start to slowly wane. The mirror now reflects a fractured view. That simple structure we once knew is through. Now every action has a painful cost. All sense of seamless order has been lost. We paid the price for being too high, just standing here beneath the broken sky. We saw the line, we touched the fire, we chose the canvas, fuel the desire. The signal dropped, the chain is broken now. We bow to will, but not to the vow. That single slips and tremors through the whole design. A beautiful disaster that used to be divine. Every connection was perfectly sealed. The future of the system was clearly revealed. We moved inside the flawless design, a rigid order that felt so divine. There was a quiet kind of peace in the air, back when there wasn't anything to fear. We just wandered through the days and the sun, never knowing that the hard part hadn't begun.
Used to think perfection was a promise set in stone, that my heart would only know the good I'd ever known. Walked around barefoot on that soft, fresh, virgin ground. Didn't know the bad kind of ache that could be found. My conscience hadn't seen a single crack. I couldn't picture any way you couldn't go back. Yeah, everything was simple, everything was clean. The sweetest life I'm ever gonna meet. Saw the fire, touched the flame. Only I can take the blame. Had to know the bitter cost. Every single thing I lost. Now I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. I traded all that easy life for this heavy gloom. Sin ain't something you earn, it's something you know. Watching that pure reflection start to slowly go. This heavy consequence became my chosen doom. Yeah, I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. Saw the chance to grab something I wasn't due. That single boundary was the only thing I knew. Heard a soft lie whisper, you deserve this thrill. And that perfect obedience just lost its will. Took a long hard look at the easy road out, then threw my innocence away without a doubt. Yeah, I reached out my hand and I paid the last cost. That sweet simple life in a single second was lost. Saw the fire, touch the flame. Only I can take the blame. Had to know the bitter cost. Every single thing I lost. Now I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. I traded all that easy life for this heavy gloom. It ain't something you earn, it's something you know. Watching that pure reflection start to slowly go. This heavy consequence became my chosen doom. Yeah, I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. You can't unring that old cheap bell. You can't unwrite the story you gotta tell. That sweet kind of innocence is gone for good. It's a road I walked, knowing no one should. This heavy knowledge is a shadow that won't move. The hardest lesson that I had to prove. The leaves we used to laugh at now just feel like shame. That pure and honest mirror doesn't show the same name. That easy sunlight hitting me just feels like a lie. Got a heavy sinking feeling standing under this new sky. I finally learned the difference between the fire and the burn. It's a lesson that I wish I never had to learn. Now there's just grit and dust where the clean path used to be. And this long road of consequence belongs only to me. Touch the flame, only I can take the blame. Had to know the bitter cost. Every single thing I lost. Now I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. I traded all that easy life for this heavy gloom. Sin ain't something you earn, it's something you know. Watching that pure reflection start to slowly go. This heavy consequence became my chosen doom. Yeah, I'm choking on the dust where Eden used to bloom. There was a quiet kind of peace in the air back when there wasn't anything to fear. We just wandered through the days and the sun, never knowing that the hard part hadn't begun.